Hello, Jonathan Nemi here. This is video number 3 discussing what's new, handbook highlights, grading, and assessment. So some of these are new. Many of these have been in existence for a while, but I'd like to highlight those for you here. First of all, expectations of parents. So it is an expectation that students and families would be in regular worship at St. Martin's. We can worship in many ways, but one of the ways that we do is through corporate worship on Thursday evenings or Sunday mornings. For those families that are not members of St. Martin's Lutheran Church but are enrolled in the school, you would need to enroll in a Bible information class within the first year of enrolling in the school. Pastor Yankee is currently leading a Bible information class right now, and another one will open up sometime later on this year. Another expectation for parents is that students would sing in church when their grade levels are scheduled to sing. And then participating in activities. If your child is in sports or forensics or whatever it may be, making the commitment to have that child there if they have signed up for it. Tuition and fees. It is an expectation that parents would follow their payment plan and pay all tuition and fees. And volunteering. This is not something that's mandatory. We don't make parents volunteer for items. But we would love to see our families involved in our activities, whether it's running a concession stand or taking a turn running a gate at a basketball game or running a score clock or being a door monitor for forensics or whatever it may be. We'd love to see volunteers. It does help our school events run smooth. So please consider volunteering for events that your children are in. And then lastly, communication. We would love great communication from teachers to students, from teachers to parents, from parents to teachers, all across the board. We would love to be great communicators. That's an expectation for teachers. That's also an expectation for parents as well. Curriculum study. Our curriculum study for this year is our 2 studies, technology and art. If you are interested in serving on a curriculum study team for either technology or art, please contact me and I can tell you when our meetings are, and we would love to have you involved in helping to create and review our technology curriculum and our art curriculum. Homework. Nothing really new here, but the faculty did study homework last year. If there are extreme amounts of homework coming home, please contact your teacher. We do want to be respectful of parents' family time at home, in addition to providing reasonable amounts of homework for students to complete as well. If it's a weekend or a church night, you can expect little to no homework. Incomplete work. If a child in 5th or 8th grade has an incomplete assignment, what will happen is they'll fill out a Google form and a teacher will contact the family the same day. We would like to minimize and stay on top of incomplete work so that students can get their work done and learn what they need to learn. After school study hall, this is an option for families in 5th through 8th grade. If you have a 5th through 8th grade student that needs some extra help from a teacher or would just need a quiet place to work, you can go to after school study hall, 5th through 8th grade. It's Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays, 3:30 to 4:30. That's supervised by a teacher, one of the upper grade teachers. School closings and delays. We use the One Call Now system to get those school closings and delays out. You'll receive either a text message or a phone call whenever there's a school closing or delay. Discipline. We never do use corporal punishment. We always try to discipline with law and the gospel. Show children their sin, show them their Savior. Again, communication is a big element to a good discipline plan. Communication between the parents and the teacher and the students working together so that the students can learn. Electronic devices. Students should have any cell phones in their backpacks and off during the school day. If they'd like to use them, they may use them after they're picked up by families after school. And out of school care, we do have that 3:30 till 6 o'clock, and also before school care, 7:15 till 8:10 for any families that need for school care. You do need to have families register before you can use out of school care. If you have not registered and plan on having a child either stay after school or come early, you do need to fill out an out of school care enrollment form. Allergy safe. There's a latex allergy and a peanut allergy in our school. So we are very aware of those. We ask you not to bring in uh, peanuts as snacks. And then balloons, other latex objects aren't in the building. Any medications need to be on file with the office. That includes Tylenol or pain relief medication. You supply the medication, what should be given, when it should be given, how often, how much, to who, and Mrs. Wendler in the office will distribute that to them. But we do have to have those medication documents on file. School telephone, we would ask as much as possible that children and families have your pickup or arrival departure plans before you'd arrive at school for the day. Um, the school can the school phone can be used to call home for certain things, but we are minimizing uh, the use of the school telephone during the school day. For instance, if a student forgot some small piece or something that they want for school but don't really need, we'd probably just wait and not use the school telephone. School telephone can be used, but only for emergencies and higher priority need things. And then lastly, math advancement and retention. We do have policies in place that if a third grader would like to take fourth grade math, or a sixth grader would like to take seventh grade math, that we could advance the student up a math grade level. Contact me if that's something that interests you, and we can have your child tested for that. The one big topic that the faculty studied this year was grading and assessment. Grading, the letter grades A, B, C, D, or E, N, S, U, and then assessment. Assessment is a little bit different from grading. Assessment is looking at where a student is at and where they should go. So as the faculty studied grading and assessment, we learned that this is not just focusing on grades. What we really want to be focusing on is student learning, not just the grades. A grade on a piece of paper, a B could mean one thing to one individual, it can mean something totally different to another person. We really want to focus on the student learning, what the student knows or can do, and not just grades. And assessment for learning and assessment of learning. So assessment for learning would be teachers assessing, okay, this is where the student is at, this is what they understand, what they don't understand, so that I can help them learn better. Assessment of learning is just assessing what the student knows. It's the end form, kind of like a quiz or a test. That would be an assessment of learning. So there's a difference there in just how you think of what assessment is. Grades should reflect what a student knows or can do at that point in time. No extra credit. We talked about this, and the idea that extra credit, just doing something to help a grade get up, doesn't really show any student learning. It doesn't really show what a student knows. If students would like to meet the content requirements, meet the standard that the teacher has set for this is what I would like you to learn, that would be perfectly appropriate for a student to show in some way or form. But just doing extra work to help a grade go up, again, we're focusing on the student learning and not just improving of a grade with not really the learning that we would like to happen getting done. Redos, we would allow redos then. If a student doesn't get something the first time, but does a redo and gets it the second time, that shows that the student gets it. They understand it, that they learn it. This is not an excuse for students not to do well the first time, but it is an opportunity for students to show what they know. And again, we're focusing on students learning and not just the grades. Allowing students to do redos makes sense. Late work, we don't like late work. But we won't be lowering grades because of late work. That's a behavior. That's not something that really shows what a student knows or doesn't know. Late work is a behavior that we'll communicate about with the parent to help improve that behavior. But by not turning work in, that doesn't really show what they know or don't know. It's just that they haven't gotten it done. So again, like I kind of said before, we can grade with A, B, C, D, or F, or sometimes there's certain things that we will assess with E, N, S, U. Kind of like I mentioned before with the late work, behaviors do not lower content grades. Let's say there's a piece of math and all the answers are correct, but it's sloppy. It shows what the student knows. That would probably get an A. That would be a paper that shows that the student knows the math. However, when you're assessing their behavior, maybe neatness, maybe that's something on a report card that we would definitely rate lower for that. But we would not lower the math grade just because it's not neat. It's two separate things we're measuring. Does the student know the math? And does the student do neatness? We're not going to lower a math grade because it's not neat if they know all the math. So the idea is trying to communicate better what a student knows, so the student learning again. Along those lines of communicating with families about what a student knows, one of the tools we use is PowerSchool. And PowerSchool is a tool to help communicate what a student knows. It's not the only tool. Emails between parents and teachers, homework that comes home from students, conversations between parents and teachers and students. These are all things that help communicate what a student knows, but PowerSchool is an efficient way to do that. PowerSchool should be updated regularly by the faculty, and PowerSchool grades can be sent to you via email weekly. And the next video, video number 4, will explain that process. We do have memory work at St. Martin's. We do expect that children memorize portions of the Bible, which are beneficial for for their faith, for later on in life when you maybe need a Bible passage to come back to. It's important to memorize the Bible. We will have report cards, quarterly report cards, 4 report cards a year, which will have summative assessments of learning, letter grades A, B, C, D, F, and they'll also have behavior grades E, N, S, U as well. So those are the updates for what's new kind of in the handbook, and then also a very general overview of grading and assessment. If you have questions on grading and assessment or some of the handbook highlights, and I anticipate there probably will be some, please don't hesitate to contact me. I'd be happy to kind of talk through our school's philosophy for why we do the things we do the way we do them. Thank you.